This is the Poetry Hour, and it's a poem I wrote called A Baby Called France, and I think it's self explanatory. The mother lives in Jerusalem, taking care of an elderly woman who had raised her children and now needs to have a foreigner from Philippines give up her newborn son, travel to her country, and take care of an elderly woman, a stranger instead of her own son. The father lives in Italy, serving food at a restaurant in Milano, while his son grows up in the Philippines, raised by the elderly parents of his wife. How can the laws of the land prevent a woman from raising her son nearby? How can it be forbidden for a foreign worker to raise her own child and instead to give him up and to have her mother raise her baby boy while she works taking care of an elderly woman whose children ought to be taken care of her and not a foreign woman who ought to be taking care of her infant son? Why is nature and laws on opposite sides? Why should a young woman not be able to raise her infant son? How can his future mean so much fortune and so little emotion? Isn't poverty better than a possible future? Isn't being poor and with your baby better than being well off and living with an old woman who acts like an infant due to life's circle being completed and her death so near while the infant's life is just starting, just about to begin? And the second poem I wrote, which is very much related and inspired by Bob Dylan. First, I must say the poem before was inspired by a couple from the Philippines. She's living in Jerusalem, he's living in Italy, and they both meet in third countries. This one baby was created in France. He's called France. He's a little baby boy, 11 days old. And next month, I was told the mother will travel to the Philippines and give her son up to her mother, and he will be raised in the Philippines, and she will see him a few times a month. A few times a year, maybe once a year, I don't know. And she will not be able to raise her own son. She won't be able to feed him, change his diaper. She'll be busy taking care of an elderly woman in Jerusalem. And it just seems so deeply unfair. And it's because the law says that foreign workers are not allowed to raise their children here. I think it's just not right. I know there's ways to go about this law, but they're becoming more and more strict, and I think it's just so unfair. I can't imagine what it must be like to give up your newborn baby and to take care of somebody who's old, and knowing your baby needs you. He's starting life without you. This elderly woman who has family and children, they pay somebody to take care of her. And this woman who takes care of her cannot take care of her own son. It seems so very cruel and so unjust and so not what I think is Judaism, and so far from anything to do with the religion of Judaism and the laws of justice and the laws that take care of people and make sure that children are able to be with their mothers. Seems to be the cruelest thing ever, especially after what the Jewish people have endured. To separate a baby from his mother. Terrible. That was the poem. Now it's Nothing Is What It Seems. Inspired by the song Rolling, just like a rolling stone. Rolling Stone by Bob Dylan. Nothing is what it seems. I thought you were my brother, but you are not worth the bother. I thought you were my friend, but you ain't. Nothing is what it seems. A smile seems warm and inviting, but the deeds say cold and not caring. A sister says she loves you a lot, but she gathers what you got. Nothing is what it seems. Summer leaves look like gold, but the people gathering gold are always so cold. Nothing is what it seems, nothing means what it says, no one cares what you need, and where this life leads is more and more greed. Nothing is what it seems, the friend you meet is the stranger, another person to share the meal you eat, and be gone the next day on his way on his feet. Nothing is what it seems. Gold seems like summer leaves seem like gold, and the young at heart just look old. Nothing is what it seems. The kindness seems cruel. What you need when you need someone, you find no one. When you want to talk, he wants to walk. Nothing is what it seems. No one speaks words they mean. Actions say you have been fooled again. No one is here. Nothing remains. No one is there. No one remains. Peace, light, and love. Thank you for listening to my poems.